Hi there, guys. How are we doing? It is Friday, last day of term. So can we... actually, don't write the date and title into your book today because we are doing some editing and publishing. So you do not need to write the date and title, but it's just good to know what the day is because it is Friday and that's important. So I'm not going to do a total recall today. I'm going to do two little kind of key instant recall facts for you, just some kind of general knowledge info. So, got a riddle first of all. What stays in one corner but travels around the world? Have a think. Maybe ask a parent. If you know it, come up with it. Answer ready? It is a stamp. Okay, it stays in one corner in the top right, but it travels around the world. Good riddle, like that one. Another one. Did you know, like a nice did you know fact, did you know that on a coin, the queen faces right, and on a stamp, she faces left? Just a bit of general knowledge for you, general trivia to kind of kick our day off. So, like I said, no total recall today, but just two facts that are just quite interesting in a riddle. So, yesterday, hopefully you drafted out your letter in your book. If you haven't, then watch yesterday's lesson before you kind of do today's bit because you're not going to be able to edit anything if you don't have a letter. So if you haven't done Thursday's lesson, do that now. But if you have and you're up to date, then we're going to edit, publish, and hopefully send our letters off today. So first of all, we're going to talk about editing, and you're going to need a purple pen if you've got one. If not, don't worry, just use a pencil or your normal pen, but it's kind of nice to use a different colour just to show where you've edited, okay? So use a purple pen or blue pen or something, different colour, so you can see where you're editing. And then for publishing, if you want to send this work off, send your letter off, it'll be really, really nice. You need a piece of paper, a pen. Everyone can use a pen. You don't have to have a pen license or any of that. But you're just going to focus on your handwriting when you do it. So a piece of paper, a pen, and an envelope and a stamp. And you'll need their address as well. So hopefully we've got a letter in our books that looks a bit like this. We're going to go through our editing points first, and then you can publish and then send your letter off. So quite a nice Friday. So first of all, we're going to look at some capital letters. Now, capital letters are really important. We need them for the starter sentences. We need them for names of people and places, and names of companies and all that kind of stuff. We need it for days of the week and months, okay, which are names again. We need the capital letter for I. Now, we've written hopefully in about ourselves and said I we might have said I in our letter, and we need a capital letter for I. It's our pronoun, but it does need a capital because we are important, like our names. And then titles, things like Mr., Mrs., and titles of programs that you might have talked about in your letter, maybe. So, looking through our work, if this was my piece of work here on the Let's Learn How to Edit box here I've got, we're just looking through and we're scanning for things like this. So Carbeal Junior School is the greatest in the world, and that's a fact. The head teacher is Mr. Hamlin. I love it. Okay, so now if we were editing it, I'm looking through and I'm thinking Carbeal Junior School needs capital letters because it's the title of the school, the name of the school. So Carbeal, capital J, Junior School is the greatest. Now, there's a capital S in the middle of our word. Now, sometimes, some of you, I know in my class, sometimes our S's become capital letters and they take up the whole line in our books. So we've got to make sure that it's a nice small case S if it's in the middle of a word, any of the letters in the middle of the word. Greatest in. Now that doesn't need a capital letter because it's not the name of anything. It's on the list there. It's not the beginning of a sentence, so it doesn't need a capital letter. In the world, and that's a fact. Again, the F, we need a small f. Then we've got full stop. Now we need a capital letter. The head teacher is Mr. That's one of my titles over here, isn't it? Mr. Hamlin needs a capital letter. And there's our I. It's at the start of a sentence, but also it would need a capital letter in the middle of a sentence. I, that pronoun needs a capital letter. That's That's all good. So I'd like to pause now and look through your capital letters in your work. Pause now and check all your capital letters. Go. Okay, let's go on to the next bit. Next, I want you to look for your punctuation. Kind of make sure all your punctuation is really accurate. So full stops, make sure you're finishing sentences with full stops, question marks or exclamation marks. Now with exclamation marks, just remember we don't want to end every single sentence with the exclamation mark, or it sounds like you're shouting every single line and it's a bit too intense. So make sure you're not littering your work with exclamation marks. We need apostrophe, so make sure if you've contracted your words, if you've got a word like I have, it's not I've like that. We need our apostrophe in there. We need the I've part. I have, we need the apostrophe. So have a check through of your apostrophes. And then commas. We'll need some commas, and I'll talk about that in a second. So far as modelling, also pupils. Actually, I'll read through it all first and then we'll edit it. Also, pupils can't be bored at playtimes because each class has a play box with lots of fun sports kit in. The kit includes balls, hoops, and skipping ropes. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look through. So also, it's got a capital letter, fine. Comma there's fine. Also, pupils. The apostrophe there, it's not pupil is, and it's not an apostrophe for possession. Pupils can't. So actually, it's just plural pupils. Doesn't need an apostrophe. Okay, so just because you're using s's doesn't mean they need an apostrophe. Can't is a contracted version of cannot, so we need the apostrophe there. Also, pupils can't be bored at playtimes because each class has a play box with lots of fun sports kit in. Full stop. The kit includes balls, hoops, and skipping ropes. We need some commas there because it's a list. The kit includes balls, hoops, and skipping ropes. We don't need a comma after hoops because we've got the and there, so that's fine. That's all good. And then at the end, we need our favourite full stop. Okay, pause now and check your punctuation. Okay. Another type of punctuation we need, and I just want you to have a quick check of this. Let me get my highlighter ready. Is these commas here on our address section. So this is your address. I've gone 21 Normal Street, comma, Common Town, comma, Tor Point, comma, Cornwall, comma. Okay, so you need to make sure you've got commas after there. At the end of our postcode, we don't need a full stop or anything. It's not a sentence. We just leave that as the postcode. And then the same with the date. We don't need a full stop or anything. That's fine there. The other comma we need is here after the dear whoever or to whoever. Need the comma there. Okay? And then this one is a capital letter. Don't forget that. So have a check of that before you move on. Next up, grammar. Grammar Town. So this is going to take a little bit more reading. I want you to have a read through your work. You need to answer these questions as you go. Does it or do? Sorry, do or not does. That's bad grammar, Mr. James. Do all your sentences make sense? So, do they make sense? Have you missed out any words? Sometimes we miss out words if we're not careful. Does it flow nicely? And is it cohesive? Cohesive means glue. If something is cohesive, it glues together, like our conjunctions. Cohesiveness is about gluing together. Do our paragraphs are they cohesive? Does it make sense? Does it flow well as it should? And then tenses. If we're talking about the past tense, have we stayed in the past tense? If we're saying about, I can't wait to see you again, I hope we can go swimming or whatever, you wouldn't say, I hope we can go swam. Okay, so make sure you're using the right tenses in the right places. So check now for those things. This might take a little bit of time to read through properly, but pause now and have a look through, make sure you haven't missed out any words. Okay, moving on. Next up, Spelling Town. Now, this is quite tricky. Obviously, not being in the school as well with our word mats, and you might not have a dictionary or thesaurus to hand, but you might do. So use that if you have access to it. Also, a really good one is using Siri on your phone or the alternative, or Alexa, or if you've got anything like that, and just ask them to read out how do you spell because, and then they'll read it out to you, they'll spell it for you. Okay, so those are some good uses of technology. So spellings, have a look through, make sure you're checking ones that you know you get wrong. Now in school I always used to spell because wrong. So I would make sure I'm looking for the word because, so I know that I am getting it right. So because, that's the sort of slang version, text version of saying because. It's Because. Okay. Now I know there's other versions like big elephants can blah 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 blah, but I always forget them. I forgot it already. I remember it from the kind of rhythm of it. Because. Okay. Which now a good mnemonic for this one is Wales have itchy chin hair. Okay, that kind of which for our relative pronoun. Wales have itchy chin hair. That helps you spell it. Oh, we've done that again. And then with. With has only got one H. It's W-I-T-H. Okay, now that gets a bit confusing because I know on some WH words we got the silent H there, but on this one we don't have a silent H. It's just an I. Now homophones, just make sure you're using the right homophone. You might have used these ones as you've gone through, so make sure you're using the right your. This is you are, this is your belongs to, this is your pen, this is your house, this is your £5 note, this is you are. Okay, so make sure you're using the right one. There, and there we've done lots of work on, and there's that picture to help us out with that. If it belongs to you, it's theirs. If it's over there, and actually in that spelling, we have got the word here. Okay, there it is, here it is. So that's all about the place of something, direction, where it is. And then the apostrophe for they are. Okay, have a look at those. 2 and 2. We've got double O for too much. It's too cold. It's too spicy. Whatever it might be. This is just normal 2, and that's the number 2. So have a look through of those spellings as best as you can. Pick out any howlers as you go through. Okay, let's move on. Vocabulary. Now again, this is quite tricky. But you have got a really good resource in front of you in your book. You've used amazing vocabulary over the weeks in Year 5, so have a look through and kind of use your own work as inspiration and kind of use that in your work. Now I know in my class we've got a said is dead board where we put all the kind of words that we're banning. So try and get rid of words like happy, sad, big, small. And include some more interesting words. Just makes your writing more interesting to read. So have a look through, use your own work for inspiration for your amazing vocabulary choices, and see if you can get that in some of your work. Okay. Next, include a PS. Now I didn't do that on my example. You might have included a PS, a postscript line at the end anyway, and that's fine. Okay, but if you haven't done, include a PS. Now with a PS line, postscript. Now we know when we're writing we're making a script. So postscript means after script, after writing. So at the end you might kind of include something like this. So PS. Hey Nan, did you know that the Queen looks one way on coins and the opposite direction on stamps? Amazing. So something like a little fact, a nice joke, a riddle, or just they're there for afterthoughts. By the way, okay, something that you might have forgotten or you wanted to make a little bit separate. It's not linked to your work in particular, but you can add it in there. Okay. Next, once you've done all that, we're going to publish. Now, just a quick word on handwriting. Make sure, please, that your capital letters and your lowercase letters, your normal letters, are a good size and you can see them clearly. Try and make sure that your writing's on the line as best as possible, so it looks nice and neat. Make sure your ascenders are reaching the top line and your descenders are going down and they're all the same height. Okay, so your descenders go down below line and the main body of the letter is on the line. Same with our ascenders, they go up with the stalks, but the main body of it is on the line. Okay, so have a check of that. And make sure your finger spaces are nice and equal, and they should be about a finger's width. Okay, then once you've written it all out nice and neat, post it. Okay, have a go at posting it. Now obviously if you don't have a stamp, you don't have an envelope, then don't worry, but it would be lovely to actually send these letters off. So make sure you know the name of the person you're sending to. You put your stamp in the top right hand corner, and you post it. If you know where they live, you might kind of post it through their door, and that's fine as well. Okay, but have a go at posting it. And that's you done. Okay, mission complete. And then post any pictures of your edited work to your teachers if you can. And that's it for Friday. So well done, guys. We made it to the end of this term. It's been a long old time. You've done really, really well with it. And have a lovely, lovely, lovely week off. Okay, take care, everybody. I shall see you on the other side of half term. Bye. Take care, everyone.